Have you done nasal before?
Hello everybody, Stu here. This is What's the Go? And seriously, at the moment, what's the go? What is the go?
What's the fucking go?
Where do you start?
Oh, I was just going to leave a little gap there for people to kind of think at home what the go was. But that's okay. Look, what I'll ask people to do instead is go back 15 seconds. After I say what is the go, just pause and have your own thoughts. And then press play again. You heard some other voices. That's because I've got some friends this time. I say friends. They just agreed to talk to me because last couple of episodes been a bit sad. Some old man rambling to himself in the dark. So I have brought my pals from the Dad Pants podcast, the Pants Panel. Rich, hello.
G'day. How you going, Stu?
Better now that I've got some company, I can tell you.
Oh, lovely. Wonderful to be here.
Ben, hello.
Hello, Stu. Hello, mate. I've done a little bit of preparation, strangely enough, and I have a question for you.
Oh, shit.
Do we have any more information on Julius T. Nazashell?
I thought about that about 5 minutes before this, and then I decided that I think anyone who listens to this would be disappointed if I followed up with some actual information to something I said that I would. If there's going to be any follow-ups, I'd rather it be more conjecture, actually. So,
Okay.
So yeah, I'm going to say that he, got taken into a Chinese sub and joined the Communist Party. So that's probably where I'll leave that. But thank you. Yes, I did think about it for about 5 minutes before this. Matt, hello.
Hello.
Well, let's start at one of the shiteful things I was referencing ever so slightly at the start there. Warnie, fellas. Warnie.
Look, can I just say something straight off the bat? I need to apologise.
Oh, no.
To Warnie?
To all of you.
Oh, okay.
What?
All right.
To all of us.
Well, yeah, to all of you. Just for being that guy that made us leave the cricket and miss some of Warnie's finest work at 8:30 at night after we'd been rained off for most of the day. And I decided to tell everyone, you know what? We're not going back on today. There's no way we're going back on today. Let's just get ahead of the crowd and get out of here.
All right.
So we're just
Crowd
the
that was very
SCG.
thin.
Yes, a bit of supplementary information for everyone. This was at the SCG. What year are we talking?
Oh, what was it? 90?
I'm going to say 24 years ago. I reckon it was 98.
Yeah.
And so there were rain delays, and you said, fuck this for a joke. We're out of here.
Pretty
Then
much.
what- then what happened?
That tended to be my standard sort of.
Well, let's
this
go to
for a
the
joke.
pub.
If I
I
wasn't
believe we
happy,
went, let's
fuck
go to
this
the
for
pub.
a joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what did we miss?
Yeah, what happened?
You got his 300th.
That's right.
You got his 300th wicket.
The ball that has been shown, over and over again, or one of the balls, was the ball that bowled Jacques Callis,
Yes.
which was basically a straight one that Callis missed.
Exactly,
But
yeah.
still was
Best all-rounder ever.
I never saw
I-
him do anything.
That's right. And I've had to live with that for my entire life. The last 24 years. And
Yeah.
I just wanted to apologise to you guys
I
for being
think-
that guy.
I mean, I enjoy being that guy, but I think you just slot into the role of making the decision so we could all complain about it and be all nice and dry. And then when he did take the wicket, then we can always say it's all your fault.
Yes.
I
I
don't
just have-
remember protesting too hard in my soul.
I remember Buckland just sitting there constantly pretending to, because we didn't actually have phones back then, like individual phones, pretending
Planning
to
to look
type
at a
in,
phone.
pretending going 2 more 2 300 and giving like a full infomercial smile. Yeah, 2 more, 2, 300. 2 more, 2, 300. 2 more, 2, 300. That's been pretty much going on high rotation in my head.
Yeah.
Only like that's my one of my vivid memories. So
unfortunately for all of us, Ben's very persuasive and friendly. So we just kind of, it's hard to say no to the man.
Yeah, I mean, and it was quite easy to stay, I would imagine. I'm sure if we said, yeah, you can go, I'm staying, then that would have happened as well. But the other cricket memory I have of Warnie was I have a photo of him. I think it was either the following year or the year after when Australia were playing India, and it was the longest day of Test cricket ever.
Oh, the greatest. That was an amazing day.
Like I think it did make it in the Guinness Book of World Records because it started early because it was rain the day before. And then they decided to play an extra hour at the end of the day, and then when that hour finished, they were like, Australia only needs 3 more wickets or 2 more wickets, so we'll play another hour. And so I think it finished at 7:45 or something like that. Started at 9:30, finished at 7:45, and we have lovely photos of the day. Very, very, very tired and emotional.
Before the days of mid-strength beer, too.
Yes, exactly right. But there's a photo I have. I think our good friend Elge, she took a photo of Warnie because we were shouting at him all day, as always. A photo of him turning around, giving us 2 thumbs up.
Oh.
Now I know for a fact that he did this, and then the very next delivery, a catch came to him and he nearly dropped it. And that was
those very thumbs.
Very great moment. I wish, like a lot of us, I'm sure, would have loved it if he dropped it because he wasn't paying attention. He turned around late. He was like literally looking at us, just razzing us up, and then he turned late, and then the ball came to him. So that was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
We've got plenty of tenuous Warren stories, don't we?
Well, that's okay. That's I mean,
that's what everyone else has been doing for a week, haven't they?
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
I copped a finger from him, so that was probably part of abuse and sledging. Yeah. So that was when he was.
He means sticking a finger up at him. By the way,
Dr. Warren.
Right. Yeah. Well, you got to make these things clear with Warnie. He's got a reputation, so
yeah. Yeah, so he was refusing. Well, there was kids lined up trying to get his attention, and he wasn't. He was refusing to sign their autographs, and so we were hurling abuse at him for that. Too bloody good for the kiddies, aren't you, Warren?
You say we.
Shane, too good for the kiddies. Yeah, we.
You say we. Yeah.
And then he turned around and signed the autographs, and then my exact response was, "What's the game? You've been playing cricket. What are you doing? Fucking show pony. That's all you get." And then I copped the finger, and I was like, "Hey!" Resolved the tension perfectly. So he was a man of the people.
Yes. Well, I think that's my next point, really. Like, he's been a large part of people's lives for a long time, which is why it's hard for people to digest the news this week. But also, it feels like a part of Australiana's dying with him a little bit, because who's the next kind of worn larrikin figure coming through?
I think
not just in cricket, anywhere.
Yeah, I think he was definitely the last of that bastion where, there was pride in getting as shit-faced as possible and, making an ass of yourself. That was kind of he was the last bastion. And I think Booty kind of passed the VB bottle to him, so to speak. And then after that, it's all been a bit thin on the ground, really, hasn't it?
I think he was
across the culture.
I think he might be the last, certainly the last cricketer who wasn't sort of manufactured all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe social media really elevates that where you have you have an image and you try and stick to it.
Yeah, well, there's that social media, plus the fact that, he probably knew deep down he was going to get endorsement dollars no matter how he behaved, because he was just that good. Whereas anyone else has got to kind of be on good behavior to make sure all their sponsors
must be
are
fully
happy.
Polished.
Yeah. And
would you say he's the last kind of Australian cricketer who was more cricketer than he was athlete.
That's a good way to put it.
That's not bad.
There's actually been a bit of that, right?
Yeah, he's a naturally gifted cricketer, and it wouldn't have mattered, like, if he was, he packed on the pound. He was up and down like a fiddler's elbow with his weight. Yes. And so it really didn't kind of matter because he was pure cricket. Like,
well, he was bowling 60 overs in test matches.
Yeah.
Like, that's revolting. Can you imagine someone trying to bowl? Like, I mean, I don't know, maybe Lyon might bowl 50 overs in the next Pakistan test match, depending on how roadish it is.
Oh, look,
but
yes, well, we'll get to that.
And we'll get to that. Yes, I'm sure.
But there's a reason that he walked into every delivery. There wasn't a trot. There wasn't a skip. There wasn't anything.
Yeah, I don't remember him sprinting too much.
Yeah.
But I think there's also something in the fact that, unfortunately also slightly overshadowed Rod Marsh passing away a few days earlier, because I think it kind of almost feels like Shane would have been more at home in their era. Well,
I think he used to talk about that, was just how much. I think Ian Chappell said to him, like, I think you would have fit in the 70s, and I think Warren was just like, that would have been my dream, because I guess that's what he grew up watching and emulating. And I think that was the thing. I was like, even in the late 90s, early 2000s, I think he felt a little out of place with the amount of work that I think famously with
John Buchanan style,
of like, let's look at analytics and things like that. And he was just like, I just have a smoke, I get up, I have a big a winnie,
and I'll bowl fucking well.
And then I'll watch what I do.
Give it a real wazz.
Give it a real wang, and
get him back in the 40s. Have a pint of whiskey, drinking tea, couple of pipes, and get back out.
Pipes.
On that though, what era does Chappelli belong in? If we're talking about what eras people belong in, does he belong?
Well, I think he was perfect in the 70s.
Yeah, I think he was perfect. Late 60s.
Well, he's never left it, that's for sure.
No, we love him for it.
But strangely enough, right? It's, I think we've all seen the interviews. I think, obviously Ponce, very upset today. The Michael Clark interview, he's put on a few pounds.
I haven't seen that one.
It's
body shaming.
Are you fat shaming Michael
Clark?
Fat
shaming cricketers.
He just looked weird.
Very unwarning.
He just looked weird.
He just looked weird. But look, it's been really nice listening to, like, a lot of people have a lot of great stories to tell. But what I find strange is there's just been a lot of silence from people like John Buchanan and Steve Waugh. Like, where are they? Where are they coming out to tell their Shane Warne stories?
What are you saying? They've got shade and they just don't want to spread it yet.
Yeah, they're going to leave it up to Sunil Gavaskar or whoever.
They're letting the silence do the talking.
I think John Buchanan's going to send out an email to all of Australia. It's going to have just a little bit of Shane shade
in analytics form.
He's going to look at maybe the day after.
He's going to look at his analytics. He's going to look at his analytics and go, you know what? He wasn't that good. I've got Peter McIntyre down as a better bowler.
Well,
P.S. Vote United Australia Party.
And all the Indian spinners that Sunil listed.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. What about McGill? When's McGill going to come out and go, oh?
Well, he's still in someone's boot, McGill, I think.
Yeah, let's talk about Stuart McGill later. Anyway, sorry, Wiggins. What were you saying?
Sorry, mate.
So can someone get me up to speed on how much shade Sunil Gavaskar threw at Warnie? Just because I haven't heard anything about.
No, it wasn't a lot. I think people were looking for any kind of someone saying negative. Someone actually asked him, do you think Shane Warne is the best ever spin bowler? Yeah. Knowing that Sunil Gavaskar doesn't think he's the best spin bowler. Again, like
quality question for the time too.
Yeah, exactly. Is he the best of all time? No. It's basically like, my answer, and it's no, so I'm not going to change my mind. But then that was it. That was the only thing.
You probably didn't need to get into kind of, Hyderabad third grade spinners.
Yeah, just some bloke he saw.
They're pretty good though.
They took more wickets in India than him. I think that was
good. It's always a good thing when they bring up his stats and you're like, oh, geez, India just flogged him. all these, his average is in the 20s for everyone, and it's 46 or something. That's pretty harsh career stats against one team. But he wasn't that great.
They just need to continually show the LBW against Sachin where he shouldered arms to a straight one. Just show that. That's great. Just a Sunil.
Yeah.
To Sunil or to everyone? Yeah. Look, it's been a pretty hard slog this week because I don't know about you. I've felt kind of obliged to go through all the articles and listen to all the kind of takes and podcasts and stuff that I usually would listen to, which are all just very focused on it. But I think we've kind of reached the point where, it's time to back off now. There was a news.com.au article out today about the fact that Warnie went to a shop and bought some clothes before he died, which is unusual because last time he was in Thailand, he didn't go into the shop. He just ordered some clothes to be delivered.
Oh,
so you see, it's unusual.
Right, he was trying to get the most out of life.
Unusual Thailand
wringing
behavior.
the marrow.
Thailand's a bad place to die.
Sucking the marrow from life.
Thailand's just a bad place to die. Like if you're going to die of natural causes, just don't die in Thailand. Find somewhere. Go stay in Melbourne.
No.
Oh man.
Alone in a room, or
I'm not casting any dispersions, but don't die in Thailand.
No.
Well, but having said that, my wife asked a very good question. Like, he's 52, and she was like, he's very young. And I was like, he was very young. She said, "Are you shocked he died of a heart attack?" And nah.
No, absolutely not.
No.
How much cheese do you think he's eaten over the years?
The question I want answered by
25% cheese, I reckon.
When he's having a baked bean jaffle, which he was fond of, was it cheesy as well?
It must be. You can't.
You would have to think so.
No one's made a jaffle without cheese ever, surely.
The next person that
who are they?
Who are these people? Lasagna sandwiches with 3 inches of butter. Like if he's not having cheese on a jaffle,
a bean jaffle,
then like who is he?
And
we've been
lying. That's not being disparaging. We're all very pro.
Oh, we're very pro.
Pro cheese,
pro jaffle,
cheese jaffle.
Yeah. Again, that was what you were saying. Like he that's a very 70s. He had a 70s diet of just I'll just eat what I want, and I'll have a few beers, and every now and then I will maybe get some work done on my face. Really worry about my weight, and really, took a lot of weight off. There's a lot of, like you said, he did go up and down with his weight. He seemed to be one of those people that was like, right, I'm serious. I'm going to lose a lot of weight and get really fit. And I did that. I'm going to celebrate being really fit.
Well,
a lot. Cheese
with a shitload of dim sims.
It's not just it's the
like
thing.
That kind of guy.
I think a lot of people do. I've done it myself. It's not. You think in your head that it's just the getting there, but it's the staying there. That's also a problem. And you go, that's a fresh battle. I wasn't ready for this battle. I just finished a battle.
I just worked really hard.
You're going to keep working really hard.
Oh, come on.
Shit. Question to all of us. How did your wives take this news? Being that it affected me quite a lot. Like I've actually there were a couple of times where I was quite upset. Like Lynn's woke me on Saturday morning with that news. That's how I woke on Saturday morning. It was just she just grabbed my shoulder and shook me and went, "Warnie's dead."
Oh, great.
And so that wasn't great, but she's actually sat with me over a couple of nights, and we watched the Warnie documentary, and we've sort of looked through a few different things. And she is not one to sit down and be involved in cricket at all. Like, just doesn't enjoy it at all, but has really, I don't know, sort of just been a part of that with me.
That's great. That's top-notch wifing, and that's top-notch situational awareness, I think. My wife just wanted me to justify to her why everyone loved him so much. That's pretty much it.
Did she not see that ball to Jacques Callis?
Jeez.
I think that's it.
She's the idea of like shouldering arms to a straight ball, Tendulkar style. It's lost on her.
Yeah, that's right. Did you see that flipper? The flippers to Daryl Cullen and Alex Stewart. They're just
the ball. A common misconception with the ball of century is that it went around his legs. It didn't go around his legs. It went in front of his legs. It just spun so much. People assumed it went around his legs.
Do you know
what's her common refrain? What about his record in India? Have you seen that? It's rubbish.
One of my favorite things Richie Benno has ever said, and I don't know, Wiggo, I'm sure I've seen this many times with you, is a few overs after that ball of the century, he got Robin Smith out with a ball
with an absolute
equally as good. No one talks about that. And then just, as always, move on from there.
Maybe Robin Smith didn't have as photogenically stunned look on his face as Gatting did.
Yeah. Plus, first ball in England, not bad.
Plus, Gatting's fat, so it's funnier.
I was going to say there's something about Gatting getting out, which is you could watch that.
Yeah,
all day.
True. My wife asked in a very roundabout way. She just said, "Are you sad?" Well, my mum asked, "Are you sad about Shane Warne?" That was her response. I told her, and she was just all right. But she's also been like directing me to like watch a Lee Sales interview on that you can watch on ABC iView.
Yeah.
So and so said there was a really good interview with him on, I don't know, one ABC, like I said, an old interview with him, which was quite good. But I haven't really been watching other people talk about him much. I don't know. The only interesting thing is always from like Ian Healy or Gilchrist.
Yeah.
And what I learned this week was that, again, nothing to do with the man, all to do with cricket, was that he was very easy to pick. And I was I hadn't even considered that. But like, oh yeah, you're out of the hand. You knew what was happening. It was just how much it was going to spin.
Yeah, right. If you kept to him every game for hundreds and thousands of balls, it'd be easy to pick, I'd imagine, yes.
I just get distracted watching old cricketers like talk about, like they're on there and they're talking about what I want to ask them questions. Can I pop on and ask Heels more questions about keeping in other situations? I just get very easily distracted with and then I'm watching YouTube clips of Ian Healy's keeping. Like Chris Matthews. What I've been doing all week. Just a lot of highlights.
Going down the rabbit hole. I've been watching the highlights. That's been my go-to. Like I've kind of avoided any of the interview, and like other than the scroll. And going, oh yeah, but I'm more than happy to just sit and watch.
And I think that's sort of a testament, like I guess what your wife was saying, Stu, is like why do we care or something? And I remember even at the time when he was playing, having discussions with girlfriends and things like that, where they were like, oh, but he's like did this and he's gross and he cheated on his wife, and I was like, I don't care. I watched the game.
That's not in my universe. This is in my. This cricket is in my universe.
He's not doing any of that on the field.
Look when he's on watching. Come and watch when he's bowling, and maybe that'll all go away. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the articles. I'm sure they're coming, where people will start questioning that. I'm sure there are
inflatable dicks and stuff. You mean?
Yeah. Why are we celebrating this man who blah blah blah? And
I mean, it's a bit much. How many times he was being called a great father this week, I think.
Yes.
Like
by his kids as well. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Like what do you mean? By leading by example, or what do you mean exactly?
Yeah.
I think we should probably wrap this up because, it's been done to death this week, all the Warnie talk. But I think it's as simple as this. I said it last week on the podcast. For people who don't quite understand it, if cricket's a large part of your life, then Warnie was a large part of cricket. So then, a part of your life's gone, which is why it's so hard to comprehend, really, I think,
Well said.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah. Well, let's keep talking cricket. Dullest test ever.
Yeah, the Test cricket really put on a show for Warnie, didn't they?
For Warnie to send him off.
That'll do.
Oh, my God.
That's all I want to talk about with the test.
Yeah, bad.
But, you'd be ashamed.
It was fucking terrible. So I've also done some more preparation, and I'd like to talk about a different sport.
Hang on.
Wiggins is taking over. Sorry, Stu. You're not.
Is it relevant now, or can we get to it in a bit? Because there's
No, we can get to it
Okay,
in a bit.
I want to ask, when was the last player with glasses?
Oh, Dirk Wellham,
Yeah, Wellham.
Yeah.
who actually played in glasses. It's been a while.
But you know that it's a road.
Chris Gale.
Yeah.
The Tory.
Yeah,
yeah,
Vittori,
Vittori,
yes,
good one.
Yeah, good
yes.
one, Ellis. Good one. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, he
I
was
just
the
felt
most
like
recent.
that was the best
Gale,
indication that
Sonny's.
there were no surprises in the pitch.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
having those, professor glasses on.
yeah. Bob Hawke, he batted in glasses.
That worked well for him, didn't it?
Terrible
John Howard.
decision.
If you haven't, if it,
Compulsive hookup.
yeah, for those people who don't know, just go on YouTube, type in Bob Hawke cricket. You will find two probably clips come up first. Number one, him being like 84 and sculling a beer at the cricket.
Yep.
Former Prime Minister sculling a beer in very short amount of time.
Yeah.
And
He's done that a few times.
yeah, he's done
though.
that a few
That's
times.
not a
No,
one-off.
God,
There's
no.
a few of those. Yeah.
and the other one is when he played in a game in Canberra where I guess they're playing against the Press Club or something. Someone bowled him a bouncer and he tried to hook it and smash it into his
Glass
face. So
Face.
glasses
Glass into
exploded.
Yeah.
Yeah, good times.
That's
Good work, PM.
Imagine ScoMo. Imagine like
Ugh,
ScoMo
I'd like
playing
to bowl a bouncer,
some sort of. But exactly, how would he just be peppered? Stop peppering. And
It'd be
he'd have
like,
that-
remember when Brett Lee bowled to Piers Morgan? Is that the
yeah,
next?
something like that.
Just that, yeah.
He'd have that look on his face when he was welding without his mask down the other day.
Oh, fucking hell. That face was just genius.
Oh, God.
Pom's going okay against the Windies. Bairstow's turned up again. But more importantly, first time in international cricket that the mighty combination of Folkes, Wokes, and Stokes have all played together in the same team.
Oh,
That's
yes.
exciting.
It is. So, yeah, and Jadeja just named number one all-rounder in the world. Thoughts on that?
Wait, didn't he?
Any other three rhymers? Sorry.
Three
Go back to
rhymers.
the three
Yeah.
rhymers. Lee and Cheekwee.
Yeah, not bad.
Well, Lee, Cheekwee, and Cheekwee, I believe. Wasn't there two Cheek?
Oh,
I think there was four.
Were they all playing the same
I believe
game?
so.
What about War and Funky Milor? No? Okay. Damn it. All right. All right. Well, let's fuck Jadeja off. I've got nothing to say about him.
Well, didn't he get 170 and take like a lot? Didn't he do a lot in one test?
Yeah, how many wickets did he get?
Yeah.
Because I know he got
He
170.
took a lot. He
Whatever.
did well for himself.
Spins
Old
too much
Jadeja.
in sunnies. You take him off sometimes. Always wearing them when he's bowling. And lastly, on cricket, saliva on the balls.
Sorry?
Saliva on the balls.
Yeah, they changed the rules.
MCC.
He's in the cricket
MCC's come out today and said no longer able to shine a ball up with saliva.
Is this a COVID thing or is this a?
I think it's
A
a
spin thing.
combination of COVID and just the fact that the MCC's decided that it doesn't have enough effect on actually swinging a ball for people to be, essentially putting their fluids on the ball.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
So are we going to, is there going to be some sort of breakout league?
Saliva
where
leak.
we're
Now
allowed
to
to
saliva.
tamper?
Lick ball,
It's like-
Well, we're
ball
allowed to
lickers.
tamper with the ball.
Been done before. Ball
Ball
lickers.
tamperers.
All liquors.
The rogue BL competition.
The IBL.
BLC.
The BLBBL. Come join the BLBBL. The other B stands for bug.
Oh my! Look, it's been done before. It can happen. I mean, James Packer's, he's not doing much at the moment, so he can step in.
He's looking for something to get into.
Yeah.
Ball licking might just be that thing.
I love
Sounds
it.
right up his alley.
Ball licking league.
Oh, I love it. Scour it all
I
of
just,
them.
I don't know. You forget sometimes. Again, this is a part of cricket that's now going to disappear. It's been part of our lives for a long time. Just getting some of your spin on the ball and working it.
Yeah, but that's like I don't understand because you can. That gets a bit of reverse swing. Is that what they're trying to outlaw?
Well, not according to the MCC.
No.
They reckon it doesn't do anything.
That's a lie. I've played
Yeah,
enough
I
cricket
agree.
to know
That
if
is
you
a
juice
lie.
up one half of the ball, it's going to move.
Yeah, I agree. But look, they've got yellow and red ties, so who are we to argue with them?
What's next?
Yeah.
That's it. What's next? Are they going to ban gaffer tape on half the tennis ball in front yard cricket? Like, seriously?
How is Troy Cooley going to get another job?
Oh, Cooley
There you go,
reference.
there's a deep
Didn't
cut
expect
for
a
you.
Troy Cooley
There's a
mention.
deep cut.
Baseball reference.
No, look, this is going to be quick, all right? And it's not a story, but I just want to throw something out there at the beginning of the NRL and AFL
Yep.
seasons.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, I want to throw something at you guys.
do
All right. I've had a look at the numbers.
Yep.
And I want to see what you think about these particular futures bets
God.
that I'm
okay.
thinking of putting down. All right.
Okay. Go on.
Now, my standard bet at the beginning of each season is the Sharks into the Swans to both win the GM.
Really?
Right? Yes. So I have a standard bet every season. I might just have $10 on both. Now, at the moment, I can't actually get any numbers. I can get them both to make the granny, but I can't get them both to win. So what do you think the odds are for the Sharks and the Swans to both make the grand final this year?
So the double, like
The double. They don't have to make it. They don't have to win it. They just
Oh,
have to
okay,
make it.
making it.
just have to make it 25.
Like the combined, wouldn't that be
Combined,
oof,
yeah.
I reckon.
What? Oh, sorry.
I don't know, 180.
40-1.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not a very good odds at the beginning of the
No,
season.
I
yeah,
guess
that's
not,
right.
I guess
At the
not.
beginning of the season.
You gotta hope for a plunge in mid-season, and that's when you put your crazy
put the
bets
money
on.
on.
Yeah. And I've always, because I do exactly the same thing. This is the reason I know, because I do exactly the same thing every season with the bunnies and swans, and I'll put in and I'll put them into each other. But there's never very particularly good odds on any kind of top 10 sides, I'd say.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the season,
there's a little bit of heat around the Sharks at the moment too, which I'm not real happy about. But anyway, that's
Look, I've got Sharks in my top 4. I think, but it's tossing things up into the air and seeing where they land. Any team can be fucked by injuries at any point. So, what are we doing
exactly.
here?
So top try scorer
For the year?
Oof. Now this is just all about value, but like Xavier Coates is at 10-1, right? He is the number one pick at the moment for top try scorer.
Right.
I've gone into the 80s. I've gone with Hamiso Atabuai Fidau from the Cowboys, and he's paying $81 to be top try scorer for the year. Now he's going to be playing at fullback for a pretty ordinary Cowboys side.
Yeah, exactly.
But for some reason, Kyle Felt can score 23 tries in a season, whether or not they're a good side or not. And I just think that Tabuai Fidau, it's got that little bit of toe. He could probably get 22, 23. It'd be a chance. 81s. Thoughts?
Look, I don't agree, but those odds are kind of tempting, I suppose. Do you know where he ended up last year?
No, I didn't look at that.
Yeah, right.
I think he had some injury last year. And again, obviously, taking injury out of it, he's a red hot chance. But here's my here's
81-1.
my
He's red
double
hot.
finger.
He's a red hot.
My double figure winner for the NRL season this year is my bet for the wooden spoon. Newcastle Knights. $11.
I've got him too. Night. They got.
They're coming. They're shortening. They were $16 about a week ago.
Apart from KP, they have the worst spine you can probably imagine in the NRL at the moment.
Well, here you go. Sorry, Wiggins. I'm gonna I'm going to blow you out of the water here. I've just had a look on Sportsbet, and we've got Sydney into Sharks for the premiership winners.
Yes,
it is 247.
I'll take that. I'll take 247.
247.
Sharkies are paying 19, and Sydney are paying.
Go
13.
for it.
So 247. That's
Right.
worth.
We'll follow that up. In 6 months' time.
In about 6 months.
We're running out of time here. I didn't get to asking Matt, who lives in Canberra, why all the wags of the Canberra players always rip into Sticky.
I think they got nothing to do. Short answer.
Yeah. Well,
I said nightlife is like, raging in the town.
I said that to someone on Twitter today, and they got annoyed. So I said I don't really mean it. Floriad's pretty good. So
yeah. Well, no, there is the nightlife's. It's. I don't know if it compares to Sydney.
No.
So.
Well, yeah. So anyone who doesn't know,
in what way?
Another last year we had Tarpany's player complaining on social media that he was on the bench rather than starting, and now we've got Ryan Sutton's partner suggesting that Sticky's being bitter because Ryan's looking at going to another club next year, so he's on the reserves bench. There's something about Canberra and Instagram and Wags and Sticky Stewart that is not all gelling nicely.
I don't know if Sticky Stewart's popular with anyone who doesn't work with him. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, yeah. And maybe, I don't know, maybe he's trying to be an influencer. He's taking some of those influencer dollars away from the Wags. Maybe that's why they're cutting up rough on Instagram. That'll do us, eh?
Hello, my name is Piers Grove, and I'm a founder, publisher, and managing director. In March 2022, I'd just been named Managing Director of Australian Geographic and set up Scout Publishing. Then everything changed. 404 Brain Not Found, the podcast for stroke survivors and their friends and colleagues. We explore the absurd experience and frustrating journey of stroke recovery. 404 Brain Not Found, a general experiments podcast on all podcast streamers.
My name's Stu.
I'm Rachel.
And we are fans.
Obsessives might be the word.
Of the 90s. The 90s. The 90s. The 90s. You can follow the podcast on your favourite podcast app. Rachel, what's the name of the show?
Swinging on the flippity flop.
Why the 90s?
We lived it.
We lived it. We were it.
Was it the best decade ever or the lamest? Let's find out.
Flippity flop.